Hi, my name's Michael, and I'm back again to talk more about you reading dangerously because I've been thinking about a lot of things due to rereading this book, and I really like Andy Miller. I think he has this weird dry wit, but he has some really interesting concepts to think about. And in this book, he's talking about reading to improve himself. He's created a list, the list of betterment, he called it, of books he feels like he should have read, books he's lied about reading because he was a bookseller, and there's always going to be those books where someone asks you, have you read this? But saying you haven't read it feels awkward. Say, if someone asks you, have you read Middlemarch? It's something you probably should have read, and I definitely recommend reading, but saying you haven't read it makes you feel awkward and ashamed. And I don't like having a list of shame when it comes to reading, but I love this concept of having a book list of improving yourself, trying to make yourself a better person. And the reason I love reading is to improve myself, is to learn. And there's so much you can get out of books. There's so much you can learn from books. And I might one day do a video of some of my favorite books that have helped me in my life and definitely helped improve my life, definitely educated me in one way or another. But I like this concept of reading to be a better person, reading to learn, reading to educate yourself, and using reading as an autodidactic tool. And this is the reason why I read. I want to be better. I want to improve. I've got so much knowledge I want to learn, and the way to do that is to read. I used to go to uni, but I dropped out because I hated it. I felt like I was not achieving what I wanted to achieve, and it didn't help that I would go to class and they'd give me a piece of paper and tell me to read it. And that was how they taught. They didn't have lectures. They didn't have tutorials. They just gave me a piece of paper and told me to read it, and then they were going to quiz me on it. And I don't feel like I should have to pay to do that. I can read my own books and learn from it. So this is one of the main reasons why I read. This is the reason I'm passionate about literature, because there's so much to learn. And it's not just non-fiction that can teach you. There's a lot of fiction that can teach you so much. Take example stuff like Alexander Solzhenitsyn's In the First Circle will teach you so much about the Soviet era and the Cold War, and you learn a lot of history because Alexander Solzhenitsyn is a historian as well. He tries to use satire to explain the political situation, explain what's going on in the Soviet Union. And because I never grew up in the Soviet Union, because I have no experience of it, reading something like In the First Circle is going to teach me so much. But obviously I'm not going to just rely on Alexander Solzhenitsyn. I'm going to read Boris Pasternak. I'm going to read other Soviet authors. I'm going to read people that have escaped the Soviet era or people living in the Soviet era. I'm going to read books like Secondhand Time by Slavana Alexievich, which is a collection of interviews talking to people about the last days of this Soviet era. And there's so much to learn, and that's what excites me about literature. That's what excites me about reading, and that's what I want to talk about. I am passionate about literature. I am a passionate autodidactic. I am here to learn. I am here to improve myself. I am here to make myself better. And literature is a key part of that, but there are always going to be other people that have more knowledge, and them recommending me books or them pointing me in a different direction is a key part of that. And obviously I write a blog and I have this booktube channel to talk about books and talk about literature and hopefully get those recommendations that I need. So I just wanted to talk about why I read and why I'm so passionate about literature and improving myself. And I just wanted to start a conversation, and let me know if there are some books that you would recommend. Let me know why you read, and I'd love to talk to you in the comments. Thank you for watching.